is going on, YouTube? I am Germ here. Today we got a real quick video breaking down another crazy solo queue pick that I think makes a lot of sense to run in Season 10. A pick that I think is really strong, really underrated, and I think you guys can have a ton of success with in solo queue, and it's something I think you should definitely try out if it sounds interesting, if it sounds good to you. In this video, we are talking about the Ornn mid. Nemesis just pulled it out in LEC. This is a video and a champion that I've been wanting to talk about for a while, so I thought what better time than now that it's seeing some play in the LEC, maybe coming to the LCS even soon. Showing that it is a strong pick on a very big stage. Hopefully this is something people will be interested in, and I think you definitely should be. So first up, as far as the rune pages, how you can make this Ornn mid work, I think there's two main pages that people are going right now. One is the Unsealed Spellbook page. This is Unsealed Spellbook into Stopwatch, Biscuits, and Approach Velocity, and you have the Resolve secondary with Second Wind and Overgrowth. That page is really good. Ornn, you're obviously trying to scale, you become a monster in the late game. The Unsealed Spellbook allows you to still take TP, still be able to get back to lane, but then you also have the defensive summoners as well. You can take Exhaust to help set up ganks. It just gives you a lot of flexibility, a lot of options. You obviously lose a little bit by not having a keystone that's going to be really strong in fights, especially in the early game, and you're not really scaling up with that grasp, getting that increased health and stuff. But the Unsealed Spellbook can be really good. It allows you just access to all those summoners, obviously, and still you don't mind being an inspiration primary that bad. You still get what you need out of Resolve. But the other page, and this is the one that Nemesis actually ran in the LEC, this one's seeing a lot of play too. Spellbook is the more popular option, and it's what a lot of Ornn players do think is better, but I think the Grasp can make a lot of sense as well. This is Grasp into Demolish, Bone Plating, Overgrowth. This is Domination secondary with Taste of Blood and Ultimate Hunter, which I think obviously makes a lot of sense on Ornn too. Getting that Ultimate Hunter is going to be really good. Ornn's Ultimate is one of the best abilities in the game in my opinion. It is so hard to lose a team fight, lose a skirmish, anything, if you have a well-placed Ornn Ultimate. I think it's so broken, especially in lower elos where CC is going to be really strong, and it's going to be, it's going to define team fights usually. Having a good Ornn Ultimate, having that Ornn Ultimate up more often, allowing you to make plays just every time, as soon as that cooldown comes up, just looking to make a play with it, being really high impact, I think that can really help you out, especially again in the lower elos where just having that go button to just snap a team fight from such a long range. You can just take out a mobile mages, 80 carries, huge priority backline targets with this ability that is really hard to stop. If the other team has like a Yasuo or a Braum or something, it can be really annoying and you're kind of in trouble, but in most other scenarios you have just one of the most reliable massive AoE engages in the game, and I think that's really good. So Ultimate Hunter makes a lot of sense there. Honestly, you can even make an Aftershock page work into certain matchups. Aftershock's usually a little bit better into the range matchups where you're not able to proc Grasp as often. So it would just be the exact same rune page just with Aftershock instead of Grasp. And that one's not as popular, but it's something that I've played before, and I think it doesn't feel too bad. As far as the build, in this build you are going usually Abyssal Mask first, because you're obviously usually going to be up against AP matchups in the mid lane. Then you're going Sunfire Cape second. The boots are going to be Merc Treads. Again, you're usually going to be up against AP matchups. You don't want to be getting CC'd and stuff. If the other team doesn't have a ton of CC, Ninja Tabby is going to work just as fine, but you're pretty much going to be going with one of those two. You want the Abyssal Mask and the Sunfire Cape as your first two items, because those are both items that you can upgrade for yourself. Ornn upgrades his own items first before he starts handing them out to his teammates. So you want to make sure you have items that you can actually upgrade, because that's just free gold, free stats, free stuff that you're going to be getting out of. So you get a little bit of magic resist, a little bit of health, a little bit of armor. You just become a monster at 2-3 items, and then you start upgrading your own items, getting even stronger. So that's what you want to make sure. Those first two items you really want to be Ornn items, you want to be core. After that, I think Gargoyle Stoneplate is really good on Ornn. It's your job to just get in the middle of the enemy team, land a huge ultimate, land knockups on walls, QEs, not just applying a ton of CC, getting in the other team's face. Gargoyle with Stoneplate allows you to go super deep, become even tankier, and you can just be really annoying with it. Warmogs is really good, and just situational defensive items like that. It's just going to come down to the enemy team composition, but it's going to be really important that you get the Abyssal Mask and the Sunfire Cape. As far as why Ornn mid is good in Season 10, this is something that I've been playing ever since the preseason, ever since that this Season 10 patch, the meta shifting, all that stuff happened. One of the things is that with solo lane XP increases in the mid lane, it became an assassin rampant meta in the mid lane. Early game dragons are really strong. It's important to be really strong, skirmish heavy teams in the early game. This allows assassins to thrive, and scaling with mid laners kind of becomes not as good in solo queue especially. And Ornn is really, really good into assassins, really, really good into melees. And you might think, oh, you're losing some damage out of the mid lane and stuff. But Ornn, if he can get some brittle stacks on people, and it's really easy to get those brittle stacks onto melees, Ornn has the damage to solo kill other teams' mid laners. If you have something like a Zed, Fizz, a Kali, even some mobile mages like Ryze and Syndra, I think Ornn just has such good matchups against them. He can often struggle into some like bruisers and stuff in the top lane lane bullies and stuff, but he seems to have better matchups in the mid lane. And again, since the mid lane meta is a lot of assassin base, even something like Diana that I forgot to mention, Ornn can do really, really well into these guys, just neutralizing the other team's assassins. And then assassins, they start to fall off into the later mid game and into the late game, and that's when Ornn gets really, really strong. So he neutralizes their early game, doesn't allow them to get fed, makes them have to roam around the map, try and make plays like that are going to be riskier if they want to get fed. And then Ornn turns into a teamfight monster, starts handing out his Ornn upgrades items to his team and stuff. So as long as the assassin meta continues in the mid lane, I think Ornn is going to be a great pick and a great counter. But again, I think he even does well into some mage matchups as well. I don't think it's just necessarily that he just loses against mages. He actually does kind of have a bad matchup against Rumble, a guy that's kind of rising in popularity right now, so you do have to kind of be careful. But I don't think you'd ever be too bad off even blind picking the Rumble mid. One, people wouldn't expect it to be the Rumble mid, so they're not going to be like trying to counter pick you or anything. But I think he just has a lot of great matchups, and I think he makes a lot of sense to play in Season 10. As soon as he gets his ultimate, he's going to be a threat. You're going to be strong at those first dragon fights in corridors in the jungle. If you like to, skirmish a lot, team fight a lot, help your team out of those early objectives, you're going to be really well off with Ornn, and that's why I think he is such a strong pick in Season 10. I think he's been underrated. I think he's being slept on, but now that we've seen him come out in the LEC, we're starting to see him more and more in solo queue. There's a lot of Korean mid laners, guys like Showmaker is playing him. I saw Froggen playing him. People are playing him in Challenger as just like, again, a counter pick to these assassins, but I think he can do even more than that. And I think he is really pretty easy to pull off. He's a tank. He doesn't have a ton of skill shots or anything. His ultimate, it's very hard to miss. His combos are very simple. It won't take long to get down. So if you guys play mid lane, if you have trouble dealing with assassins, if you're not really an assassin player yourself, and assassins are really, really dominant in this meta, Ornn could be a pick that you guys want to maybe pick up. So I wanted to make this video today just breaking down how to make this pick work, what it does, why it's good right now, all that good stuff. So hopefully you guys learned something from this video. But that's pretty much it for this video today, guys. Definitely drop a like if you enjoyed. Leave a comment down below. What do you think about Ornn mid? Are you going to be pulling it out in ranked? If you play it, let me know how it goes. Also, leave a comment down below. What kind of video do you want to see me make next? I love making these guides, strategies, all that great stuff for you guys. But I want to make videos you're interested in. So if you guys can give me that feedback, that would be great. Subscribe to date on all my latest content. Tons more of these videos coming to you very, very soon in the near future. With that being said, hopefully I catch you guys in the next one. Until then, peace.